Hi, I'm Alma. Before I continue, please like and subscribe. One click from you means more stories can be shared. Help us reach 1,000 subscribers and make a difference. Let's begin. Alex, honey, put those action figures down. Grandma brought you something special. My mother-in-law, Diana, cooed as she pulled out a pink dress from her shopping bag. My 5-year-old son looked confused, his Spider-Man figure still clutched in his small hand. Mom, what are you doing? My husband James asked, his voice tight with tension. I'm just giving my grandson options, Diana replied sweetly. He's so gentle and artistic. I think he'd be much happier expressing his feminine side. I felt my blood pressure rising but kept my voice steady. Diana, Alex is perfectly happy with his toys. He doesn't need different options. Oh, Alma, you're always so rigid. Children need to explore. James was the same way at his age, sensitive and creative. I always thought he'd be happier if I'd let him express his true self. His true self is just fine, I said, taking the dress and putting it back in her shopping bag. Thank you for the thought, but we don't need this. You're stifling him, she snapped, her friendly facade cracking. This is why he's so shy at school. You're forcing him into this toxic masculinity. James stepped between us. Mom, that's enough. Alex is fine being exactly who he is. That was the first incident, but far from the last. Can you believe she did that? I asked my sister Nora over coffee the next day. That's crossing a major boundary, Nora said, stirring her latte. What does James say? He told her to stop, but you know how he gets around her. One stern word and then he backs down. She's been controlling him his whole life. And now she wants to control your son too. Exactly. She even enrolled Alex in ballet without telling us. When I found out, she said it was because he needs to explore his feminine energy. What did you do? I canceled it immediately. Then she called me close-minded and said I was damaging Alex's spirit. James just sat there silent. Nora leaned forward. This isn't just about gender, Alma. This is about power. She can't control you, so she's trying to control your son. I know. And the worst part is, she's telling everyone in the family that I'm some kind of bigot. My sister-in-law Caroline called me yesterday, asking why I won't support Alex's journey. His journey? He's 5 and loves dinosaurs and Spider-Man. That night, I confronted James as we got ready for bed. Your mother is undermining our parenting decisions, and you're letting her. I'm not letting her do anything, he protested, avoiding my eyes. I told her to stop with the dress thing. And what about when she told your sister I'm forcing Alex to be masculine? Or when she scheduled that meeting with his teacher to discuss his gender expression issues? She what? James looked genuinely shocked. You didn't know? She went to his school last week. The teacher called me completely confused. I had no idea, he said, sitting heavily on the bed. Why would she do that? Because she's trying to take control of our son. Just like she's always controlled you. His face hardened. That's not fair, Alma. Isn't it? When was the last time you stood up to her about anything important? I stand up to her. Really? Then why did you let her move into the guest house when I specifically said I wasn't comfortable with it? Why does she have a key to our home that she uses whenever she wants? She's just trying to help. No, James. She's trying to control. And now she's trying to convince everyone that our son needs to change who he is. He was quiet for a long moment. What do you want me to do? I want you to be a husband and father first and her son second. I want you to tell her clearly that her behavior with Alex stops now. Diana's campaign only intensified. She started buying Alex dolls and princess costumes, leaving them around our house when she visited. She scheduled playdates with her friends' granddaughters without our permission. She even started calling him Alexa when she thought I couldn't hear. One afternoon, I arrived early to pick Alex up from school and found Diana already there, talking intently with his teacher, Mrs. Reynolds. I'm just concerned about his development, I overheard Diana saying. His mother is very traditional, very rigid in her thinking. I worry she's preventing him from expressing his true identity. Mrs. Turner? Mrs. Reynolds replied carefully. Alex seems like a perfectly well-adjusted boy to me. He has friends of both genders and enjoys a variety of activities. But have you noticed how artistic he is? How gentle? These are signs, you know. I'd heard enough. Signs of what exactly, Diana? I asked, making them both turn. Alma, I was just having a chat with Alex's teacher. I heard. You were suggesting that my son's personality indicates he should be a different gender. Mrs. Reynolds looked uncomfortable. Perhaps I should give you two some privacy. No need, I said firmly. Diana was just leaving. And Mrs. Reynolds, in the future, please don't discuss my son with anyone but me or my husband. Of course, she nodded. Diana grabbed her purse. I'm only trying to help Alex be his authentic self. No, you're trying to create problems where none exist. You need to stop this now. Or what? She challenged. Or you won't be seeing much of Alex or me anymore. That night, James and I had the biggest fight of our marriage. You threatened to keep our son from his grandmother? He shouted. She's telling his teacher that we're suppressing his true identity. She's calling him Alexa behind our backs. She's just concerned. No, she's interfering and it's damaging our family. Why can't you see that? You're overreacting, James insisted. And you're in denial. Your mother is trying to convince everyone that our son should be a girl and you're defending her. She just wants what's best for him. No, she wants control. And she's using our son to get it because she knows it's the one thing that would tear us apart. James grabbed his keys. I need some air. Where are you going? I demanded. To my mother's. At least she listens to me. After he left, I called Nora. Alma, you need to document everything Diana is doing. This isn't just annoying mother-in-law behavior anymore. This is parental alienation. What do you mean? She's trying to drive a wedge between you and James, and between you and Alex. If this continues, it could affect custody if things get worse. The next day, I started keeping a detailed journal of every incident with Diana. I also emailed Alex's teacher to document our conversation and Diana's unauthorized visits. I spoke with the school principal to ensure no one but James or I could remove Alex from school grounds. When James came home, he was subdued. I've been thinking about what you said, he admitted. Maybe my mother is overstepping. James, meaning well, doesn't excuse harmful behavior. She's confusing our son and undermining our marriage. He sighed. I know. I told her she needs to respect our decisions about Alex. And she got upset. Said I was choosing you over family. I am your family. Alex is your family. I know that, he said quietly. It's just hard. She's always been so involved in my life. Too involved. And now she's trying to be too involved with our son. James nodded. I'll talk to her again. Make it clearer. But a week later, the situation exploded. I came home early from work to find Diana in our house with Alex, helping him try on a school uniform. A girl's uniform with a plaid skirt. What is happening here? I demanded, my voice shaking. Alex looked confused. Grandma says I'm starting a new school. What new school? I looked at Diana, who stood defiantly. Westridge Academy. It's progressive and affirming. They'll let Alex explore who he really is without judgment. Get out, I whispered. Then louder. Get out of my house now. Mommy? Alex looked scared. I knelt beside him. It's okay, honey. Go to your room for a minute while I talk to Grandma. After he left, I turned to Diana. You enrolled my son in a new school without my knowledge or consent? Someone had to do something. You and James are suppressing who he truly is. He is exactly who he's meant to be. You're the one trying to change him to fit some narrative you've created. I've seen the signs since he was a baby. He's different, special. Get out of my house and don't come back until you can respect our boundaries as parents. When James came home, I showed him the girl's uniform and told him everything. She enrolled him in a school? He asked, genuinely shocked. Without telling us? Yes. And who knows what she's been telling Alex when we're not around? James sat heavily on the couch. This has gone too far. It went too far months ago. You just wouldn't see it. You're right. I've been making excuses for her because it's easier than standing up to her. Well, it stops now. She doesn't get access to Alex unless one of us is present, and she doesn't get a key to our house anymore. Agreed, he said, surprising me. I'll tell her tomorrow. No, we'll tell her together. This needs to come from both of us. Diana was furious when we confronted her at her house the next day. You're overreacting. I'm trying to help. No, Mom, James said firmly. You're interfering in our parenting decisions and confusing our son. He's confused because you won't let him be who he really is. Alex is not confused about who he is, I said. He's confused because his grandmother keeps trying to make him someone he's not. I can't believe you're doing this to me, Diana said to James. After everything I've sacrificed for you. This isn't about you, James replied. It's about our son. I'm only trying to save him from the kind of repression I saw in you growing up, she insisted. What repression? James asked. You were so sensitive, so artistic. Your father forced you into sports and manly activities. It damaged you. James stared at her. Dad didn't force me into anything. I loved playing baseball. I still do. You just think you did because that's what was expected. No, Mom. That's your narrative, not reality. Here's what's going to happen, he said firmly. You will return your key to our house. You will not see Alex without one of us present, and you will stop this campaign to change him. Or what? She challenged. Or you won't be part of our lives, he said simply. Over the next few weeks, Diana escalated her campaign. She told extended family members that we were abusing Alex by forcing him to be a boy. She sent concerned relatives to check on him. She even called child services with false claims about our parenting. The social worker who visited was quickly satisfied that Alex was a happy, healthy child with no signs of distress. But the damage to our family reputation was significant. That was when I decided enough was enough. We needed to expose Diana's manipulation once and for all. I invited key family members, James's sister Caroline, his aunt Elizabeth, his cousin Mark, and Diana herself, to dinner at our house. I also invited my sister Nora and Mrs. Reynolds, Alex's teacher. What's this about? Diana asked suspiciously when everyone had arrived. Clarity, I said simply. There seem to be some misconceptions about our family that need addressing. Over dinner, I carefully steered the conversation toward Alex's development. Mrs. Reynolds, as Alex's teacher, have you noticed any issues with his adjustment or identity at school? I asked. Not at all, she replied. Alex is a typical 5-year-old boy. He has friends of both genders, engages well in all activities, and shows no signs of distress or identity confusion. But my mother mentioned he was struggling, Caroline said, looking confused. That's not accurate, Mrs. Reynolds stated firmly. The only concerning interactions I've observed were when his grandmother tried to convince me there was a problem when there clearly wasn't one. I brought out a box containing everything Diana had purchased for Alex against our wishes, the dresses, dolls, and girls' school uniform, along with printed emails showing her attempts to enroll him in a new school without our consent. These are all things Diana has done to try to convince Alex he should be a girl, James explained. Not because Alex has shown any desire for these things, but because Diana believes he should want them. Is this true? Elizabeth asked Diana directly. I'm just trying to give him options his parents won't. I brought out the detailed record I'd kept of Diana's interventions. As the family members read through it, their expressions changed from confusion to concern. Diana, Elizabeth finally said, this isn't helping anyone. It's causing harm. You don't understand. Alex is special. All children are special, Mrs. Reynolds interjected. But that doesn't mean they need to be changed. Caroline looked at her mother with new eyes. Mom, this has to stop. You're hurting James and Elma's family. Diana stood up, face flushed with anger. I see you've all been turned against me. Fine. In the weeks that followed, the family dynamics shifted dramatically. Diana's campaign lost its power once people understood the truth. We enforced strict boundaries, allowing her to see Alex only during supervised family gatherings. 6 months later, we received a letter from her. Is it an apology? James asked as I opened it. Not exactly, I said, scanning the contents. She's moving to Arizona to live near her sister. Says she needs a fresh start. That evening, as we tucked Alex into bed, he asked, Is Grandma still mad at us? Grandma isn't mad, I explained carefully. She just has different ideas about things, and sometimes that made it hard for her to be around us. Like when she wanted me to wear dresses even though I don't like them? Yes, like that. But you know what's important? What? That you get to be exactly who you want to be. Not who I want, not who Dad wants, not who Grandma wants. Just you. He nodded seriously. I just want to be Alex. Then that's exactly who you should be, James said, kissing his forehead. Later, as James and I sat on the porch, he said, My mother spent my entire life projecting her wants onto me, just like she tried to do with Alex. I never saw it clearly until now. Better late than never, I said, squeezing his hand. It took almost losing you and Alex to make me see it, he admitted. I won't make that mistake again. The phone rang. It was Caroline. Did you hear? She asked. Mom's new neighbors in Arizona have a grandson Alex's age. She's already telling them the boys should be in dance classes instead of soccer. James and I exchanged looks. Some people never change. But we had. And that made all the difference. When you've stood in the fire of family conflict and survived, what do you think matters more? Maintaining peace at any cost? Or protecting your boundaries even when it hurts?